Good morning, guys, and happy Thursday. Welcome into the stream. Very excited that we finally have a normal slate of games that are going on today. Big Thursday night football game to kick off Week 16, Rams and the Seahawks. And then we have 7 NBA games, roughly I think 4 or 5 NHL games, a little bit of college basketball. And we are getting near towards tomorrow is the first kicks off basically the college football playoff, which is very, very exciting. So we're going to kind of take a look at all of it. Today, the morning is really focused on main markets. We'll take a look at a couple DFS slips right now for player props, and then we're going to shift gears and really focus on mainline markets, money line spreads, totals, college football, NFL, NBA, NHL, college hoops. You get the point. What's going on, Jalen? Appreciate you tuning in this morning with me, man. Appreciate it. So hopefully you guys checked out the better slip that we cooked up yesterday. For those of you that have better, we cashed that little 3-pick discount, which was awesome. And then a lot of our player props that we hit yesterday, shout out Rudy Gobert, cashing the double-double. Had a solid day yesterday betting. And for Dub Club, we had a good day yesterday with Dub Club. Nothing crazy. 1 3/4 of a unit, but we're up 4 units on the week, guys. Up 11 units on the month, so Dub Club has been really doing very well. And I'll share that link here in a little bit for any of those of you that are looking to maybe want to jump in, tail some sharp picks. So let's take a look at what we have. I have the Sharp Money Tool teed up. I have the popular DFS books here play. Trey Murphy. So this is an underdog or better play. Somebody wants this at minus 116 odds for about almost $1,000 on no vig. This, in terms of for myself, I like to play a lot of 3-pick slips. 3-pick slips with underdog PrizePicks better. We're getting minus 122 odds per play. So not exactly a great play here for myself for a 3-pick, but for a 5 or 6-pick entry on better or underdog, this is definitely a solid play. What else do we have over here? I got the EV tool teed up with this as well. Currently DVing in Pinnacle. Love these plays right here. Reynald, Zubac double-double, Şengün double-double. So we're going to start off with a better slip. I got a JSN and a Luka discount, or we could just simply cook up a slip as well, right? So the first thing I'll do is I'll take the JSN over on receiving yards. I'm gonna go through these discounts and throw them in there. And then it's just so nice to see so many NBA games today. So we're taking Rain out under on his rebounds, under 7.5. Love that. And then we're going to take Zubac to get a double-double. So we'll take Zoo on a double-double. All right, perfect entry, guys, $10. This is my JSN discount over at Better. We'll probably rifle through both of these on Better just because there's some really good value on the EV tool. Tony, what's going on? Irish morning. MP, good morning. Morning, guys. So there's the first slip, first discount for Better we hit up. Hit one of these yesterday, guys, so it was nice to see that. I'm just going to take my screenshot as I normally do. Let's refresh the page here. Şengün double-double, Fox. And you can see, guys, all of these in terms of Pinnacle, all of these odds are under minus 122. If you don't have a discount available to you or you don't want to play one, feel free on Better to hit these up. I'm going to then add in the Luka discount as well, his discount of over 52.5 PRA. And then we're going to add Şengün here with a double-double. And the funny thing was yesterday, talking about Rudy Gobert, if you would have bet his over on his double-doubles and his over on his PRA, he cashed both. With Anthony Edwards being out, it was a really, really good play. And we're looking at what? Fox under on his PRA. All right, this is going to be the second 3-pick slip. $10 max, guys. I play these discounts every day over at Better. Really, really solid. Chi-Town, good morning to you, my friend. All right. And there we go. There's our first 2 in the book. What else do we have out here? I have more than Better selected. I know that. I have 8 other books. I got PrizePicks, Underdog. I got it all selected. So where are we at here? Let me scroll down because it's all Better at the moment. Yeah, and then we have very slim edge here on Underdog. So really Better is just hogging the entire spotlight. Nothing really to write home about in terms of everything else. On the sharp money tool, similarly, Trey, okay, Cade Cunningham. Somebody wants us at minus 118 odds. Obviously, for myself, playing a 3-pick slip, this isn't something I'm going to go ahead and add. Mr. Collins over on his points. Okay, again, this is low liquidity. Ryan Rollins for my dabble people. Irish, yeah, no doubt about that. Really, really good stuff. Let's see. The NHL sharp money plays yesterday on Jackson Blake and on Seth Jarvis. They both cashed yesterday. So if you guys tailed those plays yesterday that we hit on the sharp money tool, both were winners, which were really, really nice. All right, housekeeping notes for, and I'll say this again in the evening stream. There'll be a stream tonight at 6 o'clock Eastern, all player props. Going over all the player props, all the discounts that are being offered from like Onyx or DraftKings or FanDuel, right? For the we'll look at the Thursday night touchdown jackpot. That'll be tonight. No stream tomorrow, as I will be on a plane this time tomorrow, headed to Maryland, and spending Christmas this weekend with my family. I will be streaming Saturday, 11 a.m. Eastern. Sunday is up in the air. I'd like to. Just depends on what the family's doing with what our activities are for Christmas. Next week will be a fairly regular schedule for me, guys, in terms of streams. On Christmas Eve and Christmas, there'll just be one stream on each of those days in the mornings. So no evening streams or anything like that on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day. But that's pretty much it. Just kind of some housekeeping notes, just with what I have going on this week. So not going to see snow in Maryland, which kind of stinks. It's just going to be kind of coldish. So not like for any of you guys out there that want to play this, by all means, if you want to play a 6-pick entry, with Murphy or with Cunningham or with John Collins, you could do so. Nothing that's really screams to me that I have to play a 3-pick slip, right? Let me open up the DFS optimizer as well, and we'll kind of take a look at this. So we'll start with PrizePicks. And we'll say this, guys. Hopefully you guys have safe travels wherever you're headed this holiday season. A couple years ago, I got stuck in an airport in Denver and had to fly, trying to make my way back to Pittsburgh. Had to turn around, fly back home. So traveling can be a nightmare for sure. So hopefully you guys have safe travels, whether it's through the air or with your vehicle, because it's all about just getting together with your loved ones and spend a little joy. This was the first year I actually have a tree put up in my living room. First year in like 5 years. I'm not anti-Christmas. I just a single divorced guy with no kids, so I haven't really like had the need to put a tree up. And so got my act together, got a lot of Christmas decorations in the apartment. Definitely feels nice, so it'll be a good time. Entertaining quite a few guests that are coming from Mexico next week, which will be a lot of fun. It'll be a good time. So not much on PrizePicks. Underdog here. I don't mind. I like this Jamal Murray play. I don't mind that it's not incredible, but it's fine. So Murray over on his PRA. Nembhard, we talked about this, guys. Like if you've seen like Nembhard and Murray, kind of like I play their PRA on Underdog. I'm basically just going to attack PRA then, because looks to be slightly off, at least on Underdog. So over on Murray, over on Nembhard. And so that's what I'm going to look here again for. Rebounds and assists for Joker. Cade Cunningham, under rebounds and assists. This is okay. It's not great. But feel free, guys, to let me know if you're traveling anywhere for this holiday season. Shoot the shit early this morning. Appreciate that, Mitch. Appreciate that, man. Irish, I took our dog for the underground Christmas lights in the cave last night. Feels like Christmas season now. Love to hear that, man. The Louisville Mega Cavern. Okay, Pasta Skunky, what's going on, man? Feliz Navidad, Skunky. Feliz Navidad. Yeah, definitely feels that way. Ooh, the under 270 for Goff. I mean, the Steelers' pass defense, don't let Tua fool you guys. The Steelers' pass defense, still below average at best. But I'll take that. If you guys can have a little patience and wait until Sunday, I'm going to take the lower on Goff over here on underdogs. This is going to be a 3-pick slip, no insurance. Definitely starts to feel like Christmas. We have a bar out here in Scottsdale. We have a couple of bars like this in Scottsdale, but I was at one this past weekend that was all Grinch holiday themed. If you guys are in Scottsdale, take your ladies there in Old Town. It's called 50 Shades of Rosé is the bar's name. It's an all Grinch bar. It's insane. You can find it on TikTok. There's a bazillion videos on it. It was a good time. You had to wait in line for a little bit. It's a small bar. They pack them in, but it was really good. Skunky, what I'll say is, vibes are a little bit better than they were, I'd say, like 3-4 weeks ago. Coming off losses to like Buffalo, like after that Buffalo loss, I'm like, dude, whatever. But they're back on their bullshit. They take care of Baltimore. They should have beaten Miami, and they did that. So, the stretch run's going to be interesting. Detroit, probably the loss. Cleveland should be a win. Baltimore at home, tough. Tough to say. Tough to beat your divisional opponent twice in the same season. But definitely the odds are in our favor. So Detroit's going to be coming out deep, and it's going to be a good matchup against the Lions. They have everything to play for. And so we'll see. Definitely see how it goes. But Rodgers is looking good. And the Adam Thielen, Marquez Valdez-Scantling additions on the field haven't made a huge impact. Obviously, MVS had a touchdown catch. But it at least, I'll say this, and I'll finish up my Steelers therapy. Appreciate you asking, Skunky. I needed it. At least, like in the Buffalo game with no Thielen and no MVS on the field, it's like, dude, what do we have? Who's our second option to throw the ball to? Roman Wilson? Like, that ain't getting it done. Calvin Austin, he's like this tall. And Roman Wilson's about the same size. So at least with MVS and Thielen, it feels like we have like a couple of lower tier wide receiver threes on the field, which feels just a lot better than what we've had in the past. So, yeah, I mean, there's still a 9-8 team, but maybe now the wild card game, if we get in, maybe the wild card game's a little bit more interesting. Still happy to listen. I'm not going to complain if we get the playoffs. As long as you got a chip in the playoffs. Remember, guys, it's coming from a Steelers fan that watched the 2005 team that was the first 6 seed ever to win a Super Bowl. So you just got to get in the dance, baby. You get in the dance and you got a chance. That's all we're looking for. All right, let's take a look at Dabble. Let's look at DraftKings Pick 6. I'll get things back. You guys know I have a hard time doing 2 things at once. But in terms of plays here, no Pinnacle odds on all these. So I'm leaning more on FanDuel, and I'm not super impressed by any of FanDuel's odds compared to these plays, right? The underdog slip was looking at FanDuel's odds and saying, hey, there's a little bit of a discrepancy here. Here, the pricing is just not great. So I don't love this for Dabble. So for any of my Dabble people right now, I'm just, if I had an account and I was looking to cook up a slip, I don't really like any of this. DraftKings Pick 6, 3-pick slips. NBA back in action. Kawhi, okay. Kawhi's, it's a lot better to FanDuel than it is to Pinnacle, but okay on Kawhi. Steph, which Steph do I prefer? Under points and rebounds or under points? Probably the under points. Probably prefer the under points just because Pinnacle's providing their projection here. Okay. So if we go over to DraftKings, and I'm already logged in, so we're ready to rock and roll. Yeah, no doubt about that, And so it's hard to beat the divisional opponent twice. So, I mean, the Ravens don't have a tougher road than we do. They got to play the Patriots and then the Packers, and then they get us, right? At least we get to play Cleveland. All right, so I'm going to take Steph on his points, under 29.5. And then I'm going to take this Kawhi play over on his PRA. And then Dylan Brooks, I don't mind the Dylan Brooks play. If you wanted to take Koulibaly, guys, you could take Koulibaly. Koulibaly's okay, but I prefer the Dylan Brooks play. All right, so this is going to be, wow, this is a 9.7x payout. That's because maybe Curry's going up against Brooks. I was really hoping not to have that. I could find another game to put this on. Koulibaly, all right, we'll go with Koulibaly instead of Dylan Brooks then, just because of the slight nerf in payout. Feel free, though, if you want to take Brooks instead. Okay. I'll share this with you guys for any of my DraftKings Pick 6 peeps. Irish, you met Bettis at Purdue in 92, standing in between both parents after the game. He's the only player with 2 food boxes, since you mentioned. Yeah, Jerome wasn't obviously he went to Notre Dame, but cool that you met him over there, man. That's an awesome story. Yeah, so as long as you get a chip and a chair in the playoffs, especially in this year's AFC, I really think it's the best path for the Bills to make a Super Bowl run. That's what my 2 cents is. If I had like a Super Bowl, my 2 cents, at least from the AFC, who can make it to the bowl, I think it's Buffalo from the AFC. I think they have a much better path. The only thing about Buffalo is if they don't win the division, they typically this season have played like garbage on the road. Now, I know they just came off a huge win against the Patriots, but check out some of their other road games outside of the Steelers and the Patriots. They haven't played the best on the road. So for them to have to make the whole run on the road would be very difficult. But it can definitely be done with Josh Allen. All right, so that's DraftKings Pick 6. For any of my sleeper people that are looking for any sleeper value, don't really see it at the moment. By the way, speaking of Christmas stuff, ran over to Walmart yesterday, and I've been running over to Target. I tell you what, man, Walmart, dude, they just got all the good stuff. Tons of, like for me that has an apartment that doesn't have much in terms of decorations. Dude, Walmart had the whole lawn and garden section was just all Christmas stuff. So shout out to Walmart, dude, for just having exactly what I needed. Like some of the one Target I was at, here in the Phoenix area, dude, it was like ransacked. It was like, looked like they were going out of business with just like nothing was available. And Walmart just kind of came in clutch. Really, really clutch. This early in the morning, guys, I'm really sticking to Pinnacle in terms of the sharp plays. I'm going to cook up another 3-pick slip on Better. There's just so much value on Better right now at the moment. We've shared an underdog slip, a DraftKings Pick 6, and a couple Better slips. So for this evening stream, there won't be any discounted Better slips that I'll be sharing because we already went through them. But Kayshawn George, the dude that plays for the Wizards, over on his assists. Looking at when I open this play up, Pinnacle's at minus 150 odds. Now, obviously, FanDuel doesn't like this, but kind of crazy that Pinnacle's at minus 150. It's kind of crazy. Lou Dort on his threes. The Dort chamber. Over 1.5 threes. Cool. We could do Sadiq Bey on points. Obviously, if you guys want to wait on all this and just wait until we get more word about someone else in or out, I kind of want to double dip on Şengün on his double-double. This list looks great to FanDuel. It looks good to Pinnacle. I don't mind that. Zoo on his double-double, not as good to FanDuel. So I'm going to double dip here on Şengün going up against New Orleans. New Orleans doesn't exactly scare me in terms of giving Şengün a tough matchup. All right, we're going to grab this, and I'm going to put this as a perfect play. And let me share this lineup with you guys here. Obviously, feel free if you don't want to add Şengün back because we already have him on one slip. You want to put Sadiq Bey on this. You want to put Wiggins on this. By all means, do that. All right, there is the slip over there on Better. Now let's get into some mainline market plays. Let's first start off with the sharp money tool. Okay, I'm just going to clear out everything. Clear out everything, and I'm just going to select all the books. What do we got? Top play for those of you. Very interesting. Vikings, Giants, Josh Oliver. Anytime TD. Somebody wants this at plus 880 odds. They got $7,800 posted. So you can get really good odds on Hard Rock at plus 900. These are long. I'm talking like these are like, itty bitty sprinkles. Jalen Royales plus 1,200 on Fanatics, plus 1,000. These are some really crazy long shot odds. Okay. Now, an interesting note here is this Rams-Seahawks game tonight. First half under. Pinnacle's taking $5,000. There's, a roughly $4,300 that is spread out between minus 118 and minus 121 on this under. Now, you really can't get this anywhere else at the price that Hard Rock's offering it. The next best price is literally a Pinnacle. So, not enough liquidity to really make me want to bet it, but it's enough to just make me pause and kind of take a look at it. Also, forgot to mention Brashard Smith. Some long shot TDs, guys. This is on FanDuel. Somebody's offering up $4,300. So, this looks to be, honestly, on FanDuel and the score, this looks to be a very good play. Again, if you want to sprinkle some of these down here, no problem at all. Not as many books are offering Jalen Royals, but the Smith play, it's out there. And it looks decent. Arkansas State over at Bet Openly. Yeah, this is more of a sharp money play here when it comes to the point spread. Okay. California and Hawaii, this is Christmas Eve. Somebody has $3,900. They want this at minus 106 odds, which is 7 cents off to Pinnacle, 8 cents off to Bookmaker. So, slim value, very slim. But to get this at minus 104 is a bit better. Is a little bit better on this under 54.5. 54.5 is a good number to be on. I like that number in terms of having the under. Would rather have the under at 54.5 than the over. So this is Bet Openly, guys. There's about $580. I would be happy to bet that. Head Zone, what's going on? What's going on, man? Nice to finally have a full slate of NBA games. No doubt about that. Broncos at minus 3.5. Plus 117 odds. Someone wants it for $3,300. Again, Pinnacle's taking $20,000. So I don't really care that somebody wants the Broncos at minus 3.5. Good matchup, though. Jags and the Broncos. I don't know about you guys, but the Jaguars are the one franchise. Granted, they've really owned the Steelers in the playoffs. I'm actually really happy for Jacksonville to see them relevant. Like seeing them, right? It's a they're down in Florida. It's the only show in town for Jaguars fans. I'm actually happy that you're kind of relevant and in the dance. Nice to see you there. Kind of the same can be said for when the Titans are playing well because there's not much else out there. I mean, there is the Predators, I should say. Matthew Stafford on completions. Now this is where I would perk up a little bit more. Okay. $500 limit on Pinnacle. Somebody wants this at roughly $2,200 at minus 106, $600 at minus 107. This is kind of a penny jumper in my opinion, but $2,200. That's a 4x to Pinnacle's limit. You can get this over at Ballybet at plus 100 odds. Now Pinnacle on this over is at minus 134. So this is pretty much just an EV play in general, right? But we could get this, right? I like to say I'm willing to go 5 to 8 cents from where this bettor wants it at. So if they want it at minus 106, that means I'm willing to go 5 to 8 cents, which is what? Minus 114 odds. So this play at FanDuel, I'm interested. It's much better at Bet Rivers or Ballybet, right? But I'm okay with going over here on FanDuel and maybe grabbing some Stafford on his over. It's just at the outstretch of my range right there. Passing attempts with Mr. Goff. Okay, $2,000. Somebody wants this at minus 106 odds. You can get this at Ballybet or Bet Rivers, any of the Canby books. Outside of that, probably not stretching out to bet this. Now, this is just my theory, guys. There might be people out there, when it comes to player props, have a different idea compared to mainline markets. So this is where we're just looking at. We didn't have any parameters set up at all on the sharp money tool, just looking at it all. All right, cool. Let's go over and take a look at some mainline markets. And let's see what we got going on this early in the morning. So first up, date ranges for, we'll start off with today, right? Why do I focus on mainline markets this early in the morning? Because in my opinion, either the night before the games, on the night before daily games, so the night before Major League Baseball, NBA, NHL, college hoops, that's your best time to find success to beat the FanDuels and the DraftKings of the world when it comes to money line spreads and totals, or early in the morning, okay? I don't like to wait 30 minutes before the kickoff of the Rams and the Seahawks and try to bet them, right? Thursday Night Football, I'm looking early in the week, or I'm looking a little bit maybe this morning. For any of the NBA games, I'm either looking at, like we had some time because of this NBA Cup. You could look ahead to the next couple of days, but I'm looking for this morning, right? For tomorrow's games, I'm looking at tonight or tomorrow morning to bet tomorrow's games. So let's focus first and foremost on the NBA. Main markets, and we'll put this at like a minus 175 to let's go like a plus 130 range. What do we got? Okay. One little itty bitty thing that's been added to OddsJam, guys, is Circa's limits, which is very helpful. So we now have Pinnacle's limits and Circa's limits, okay? So this kind of helps give you, right? I always talk about, whatever sports book is taking the most amount of money on a market, they have the most confidence. So you can see Circa's at $1,100 over under, Pinnacle's at $3K, okay? Now, shout out, speaking of Edge Zone, shout out to Salt. My man Salt Covers. We were already on this over on the Edge Zone yesterday. He gave a couple of over-unders on the NBA out, and one of them was betting the over on the Lakers, which I did. I bet it over 241.5 last night. I was a little late to the party. Forgive me, but I bet this for everything that I had in my Bet Rivers account, which was only $135. But I bet the over. He said take the over 241.5, which is looking decent, right? So I already bet that. Great, Tom. I hear you, man. I hear you. It's nice to see P. Rivers, Ben, in out there. Ben, what's going on? So, we like seeing this, right? So shout out to Salt. And, speaking of Edge Zone, right? So I don't want to give out all of Salt's plays, but something that I love about Salt, okay, this is over here on the Edge Zone Discord, guys, when you get access to the contributors. One right here that he mentioned, okay? Take Memphis, Minnesota under 236.5. This was yesterday morning at like 7 a.m. Because of Anthony Edwards. He's questionable for this game with a strange foot injury. I think this total prices him as being closer to in, where I wouldn't be surprised if he's out for this one. At the close yesterday, at the close, it was like 226.5, 227.5 when Anthony Edwards got ruled out. And Salt was saying to bet the under 236.5. So literally it was 10 points off because he projected, and he was right on this one. And shout out to Micah as well. They thought that the books were pricing, the line was priced with Anthony Edwards being in. They disagreed and didn't think Anthony Edwards was going to play. And so they bet the under. And then once it was officially ruled out, bam, the total just plummeted by about 10 points. So really, really important. And that's kind of what it's all about, guys. So we've talked about Edge Zone in the past. OGs, D-Gens know. Some OGs and D-Gens already have it, like Chi-Town, Irish. So you're going to see a lot of this out there, right? So I bet basically, I'm not going to share all his totals, but one of his totals is he loves this over on the Lakers and the Jazz, and he loves it at 241.5. And so I already got some closing line value when it comes to this. So obviously, the whole reason that we really talk about Edge Zone is, other than the fact that I just love Arbologist and Arb Father, it's a great tool. The value that you receive on Edge Zone is pretty insane. Let me refresh this page. Let's look at some others. Pretty insane. For every game, guys, this, if anyone has an every game account, this looks incredible at the over 220.5. You could also bet this at an edge on any Bally Bet book right now. So Kalshi maybe too. I don't mind this on Kalshi at minus 116. Small edge on Kalshi. So, the idea behind this is if you're someone that is limited on a lot of sports books and you're trying to figure out that next path, right? Maybe you don't have 30 aunts and uncles and cousins that you can go sign up for their P2 accounts, right? Or maybe you're just not comfortable asking them, right? I get that. So Edge Zone is really designed for the bettor that is limited on MGM, is limited on Bet365, you're limited on Fanatics, you don't really know where else to go, you're deathly afraid or maybe just scared of betting into BetOnline and Bet105 and Bookmaker. This Discord is that next step and is designed for you to go out there, right? And to be able to bet into the sharp books because they use more of a model-based approach. So a lot of different packages that they offer, guys, right? And so why this Discord isn't, $15 a month, it's because there's a lot of good stuff over here. A lot of great stuff, right? We talked about this before, but you got contributors. You got the Edge Zone Matrix where they're giving out plays, right? They tell you to take Jalen Wells over on his PRA. This cash last night, right? Between minus 122 to minus 137. So they give you a range. They tell you. So this is the Edge Zone Matrix. This particular tool here that they have, NBA, college football, NFL, NHL, all of this. They actually have a tracker where you can see their results, guys. You want to see how well things are going. They offer that there. This is $197 a month. And it's a great tool. Kerr, I noticed you bet over first quarter totals at different lines. You just bet everything that shows up on... No, Kerr, I don't bet everything that shows up on OJ. My official play is... So like my official play, I give out an official play, right? And then I say, if you want to, you can bet the rest of these. So the rest of the ladder, I don't include as official play. So for instance, yesterday, none of them hit, right? But it's really there meant to say that you can bet those because I like them and they're all plus EV. Everything I bet's plus EV, Kerr. So there isn't a play that I give out that isn't plus EV. But it's a good question. And so I say if you want to bet those, you can, right? In the Spurs game, same thing. We hit the official play in the Spurs-Knicks game, the over, but the others didn't hit. But I like to offer those to you guys if for those of you that are interested in a taste of risk and there's value out there that you can have, right? So that's why. Trust me, there's definitely plays that are recommended on OJ for first quarters that I don't like betting. So I give out plays that I like, that I have the most confidence in, so that's how it goes, right? And again, I try to keep things very transparent with you guys that whether it's Edge Zone, right, or whether it's my dub club, I don't really know, I would love to know any other capper out there or tout that's really kind of as transparent because that's what it's all about. So you got the chat zone here, guys. You got game zone here where on Edge Zone you're looking at different plays, right? Like the Seahawks-Rams spread. This was from yesterday on FanDuel, DraftKings, Fliff. All of this, it tells you the edge. It tells you the fair value. It tells you how much you should bet with Quarter Kelly. It tells you all that. It tells you the limit. So this is really, really good. So this is also going to be, I'll just kind of drop a couple different packages out there, guys. This is their they have a $97 a month plan. This is here. Ben, appreciate you joining the family. Any OGs and DGens, please welcome in Ben. Really appreciate the support, man. Looking forward to talking to you later here on the call. But really appreciate your support. Definitely helps out a lot. And there's the $297 a month plan, guys, where you're not only going to get access to the prop zone, the contributors, the matrix. That's what the $297 a month plan offers, right? But if you guys just want to say like, I just want to bet Rivers player props, they're going to give you a ton of player props here. They're going to tell you the fair value, right? They're going to tell you the odds that you could bet this at, the average EV, the sharp EV, how many, if you use Quarter Kelly, how many units should you put on this play? Then they're going to show you other sharp books and their odds and tell you to bet JSN over 6.5 at Bet Rivers. This was yesterday at 2:30 p.m. So there's a lot of good stuff over here at Edge Zone, right? Speaking of Dub Club, yesterday we had a slightly winning day, 3/4 of a unit. So we brought that in. We've been having a great month thus far. We're up about 11 units on the month. and we are up 4 units on the week. So it's been really, really good. If you guys sign up for a 1 month or 3 month package, you receive a 3-day free trial. There's my dub club there. Check it out. Haven't sent out any plays yet this morning, but we will in a little bit. All right, so there's some. We're just going to get back on track with some NBA. A lot to jump into, guys. Between Edge Zone, between Dub Club here, and just all the different tools. A lot of good stuff. But appreciate that, guys. Appreciate all the support, and appreciate those of you that are family members in the squad. It means a lot. Goes a long way. Obviously, for those of you that are like, well, why would Ben join, or why would Irish, or why would any of these guys join the family? It's because you get preferential treatment in the chat, right? When the chat gets busy, the number one thing is I'm going to look for that logo, and I'm going to say, oh, Chi-Town said welcome. Irish said I'm on Edge Zone Basic, has the easy NBA bots, and those are awesome too, contributors for DFS or money, right? So when the chat gets busy, guys, that's not the number one thing. And then depending on what level that you guys grab, you can go ahead and get early access to some of my content for sure. That's another good thing. Members only polls. I put polls up. I take a lot of your input seriously. The things that the members, your input as a member that you come back to me, guys, I really take with very seriously and really give it a hard consideration, right? So under on this Raptors Bucks game, Camby, which one should you bet? I would bet the under 22.5. Because if it's under 222, it's going to be a push, where this is a win. So there it is. Appreciate that, Irish. We get cigars too, Chi-Town. Yeah, probably gonna have to get some cigars. It's gonna cost me a fortune in shipping everything out there, but for sure. I would say maybe next year at Bet Bash. Any OGs or DGens that's there at Bet Bash, meet me at Circa. We'll have a stogie and a drink. No doubt about that. All right, let's get off. Let's get off the NBA. Let's take a look at the NHL and the NHL mainline value. What do we got? Interesting. Okay, under 5.5s on Caesars, 2% edge. We normally don't see that much value with the NHL for mainline markets, but this is at least on the rec books. For anyone that has Hard Rock, this is really only a Hard Rock play. Again, though, if you have Profit X or no vig. I would go, if I was in Maryland right now, which I will be on Friday and Saturday, I would just go ahead and create a market for the under 5.5 and try to offer this up. By the way, for those of you that have no vig and Profit X, enjoy your run, because I'm coming to take all the liquidity this weekend, right? I'm coming. Kraken in the Flames. Very low, basically no value on FanDuel, but if you guys have Caesars, very, very good. You can see Circa's at $2,000 on the under, $2,500 on the over. Pinnacle's at 38 and 38 on the over/under. So a little bit more liquidity on totals for the NHL over at Pinnacle compared to Circa. The over 6.5 in the Oilers and the Bruins. Again, this is a 1.5 percentage, but this is the main line, guys. So I could definitely get interested in betting this. Can be Bet Rivers at plus 104, but Bally Bets at plus 105. So there we go. There you go, Irish. I'm telling you what, we've had incredible weather here. It's been in the 70s, mid-high 70s every day this week. Blue sky, sunshine. It's been gorgeous weather out here in Arizona. Very, very, very nice. Now, this Penguins game catches my eye. Honestly, this is you can bet the flat numbers over at FanDuel. So plus 116 odds. Obviously, you have some insurance here. If it's a 4-2 game, 5-1, 6-0, this is just a push. It's okay, guys. Probably a little bit too low of an edge. So it's fine. If you want to bet it, okay. But otherwise, I'm probably just going to stay away from it. Let's take a look at, let's see if we go look at some football. Let's look at some NFL. Let's look at first off college football. We'll use Bookmaker. Main markets. Let's look at the next 7 days. What do we got? Okay. Missouri State, Arkansas State. This is today, 7 o'clock tonight. To be very blunt, this is a lot of dough on the point spread. That's a lot of money 9,700 over on Polymarket. Okay. This minus 2.5 is there's $1,700 here. It looks really good. And minus 2.5 is a good number to be on. So I don't mind this play at all at no vig. At all. This is a low hold to bookmaker, which is always a good sign. Right? And for those of you that are curious, let me log into bookmaker right now just to see what they're taking for their limits. See, Pinnacle's at 5K. I'm curious to find out what's up. Can't remember if this is FCS or not. No, it's not. Okay. They are taking 20. Yeah, so this is, again, okay. OGs and DGens know this, but why I use bookmaker, guys, as my sharp, okay, and why it's so important to use to figure this out. I talk about this all the time. Pinnacle is taking $5,000 on this spread. Over here on bookmaker, this is why I open up bookmaker. They are taking $21,400 on this spread. They're taking over 4 times the amount of money that Pinnacle's taking on this spread. Missouri State minus 2.5, $21,400. So I have a lot more confidence in bookmaker's line because they're taking 21 grand on this spread compared to Pinnacle. So stop using Pinnacle for your college football guide, right? Also, something else that's like, I haven't mentioned this before. Pinnacle doesn't accept U.S.-based customers, guys, right? No one in the United States can bet on Pinnacle. Well, college football is a United States sport, right? And Pinnacle doesn't accept customers from America. So how many of their customers outside of America do you think are betting college football, right? So the books that do accept American customers, they probably receive a little bit more action on college football. So I like using bookmaker more. Wilbo says, NHL money lines totals tend to be soft around 9 to 11 a.m. So really early morning for you guys. That's one advantage for me at least. No doubt about that, Wilbo. No doubt about that. Irish, I would if I had no vig. I would definitely take it. Like there's $21,000 being taken on bookmaker, so I definitely like it, right? And even at $11,000 here on Polymarket, they're still taking more money. $44 on North Carolina State minus 6.5. Don't overthink this. Just bet it. Honestly, I'm going to go over to 4CX and bet this right now. Chi-Town, or anyone else that uses 4CX, if you can beat me to the punch, go ahead. But I'm betting NC State minus 6.5. This is for the 19th against Memphis. So for $53. At plus 122 odds, I definitely like that. All right, there we go. I gobbled it all up. Plus 6.5 at plus 122. $53. It's a good price. I like that. Right? It's not as good as plus 125, but there's still an edge. So we'll grab that. There it is. Bingo. College football playoff. James Madison plus 22.5. Bovada. Interesting. Okay, speaking of the college football playoff, James Madison, let's take a look at this on Bookmaker. Plus what, 22.5? They're taking $27,000. So again, Pinnacle's taking $10K on this Oregon James Madison spread. Bookmaker's taking $27,000. $27,000, guys. That's what they're taking on this spread. They're taking almost 3 times the amount of money that Pinnacle is. They have plus 22.5 at minus 135. Bet this on Bovada all day long. Sorry, Chi-Town. I'm sorry. I owe you a cigar. A nice cigar. If you guys have Bovada, that's a smash. Love that. What else do we got here? Got some unders on this Oregon right? I'd rather have the under 46 than the under 45.5. If you see this, you could just type in Oregon, right? That's what I would do. Type in Oregon and say, any other totals we could bet here? Yeah, there's a few. The under 47.5 seems to be the best out of all these options in terms of the easiest leg to hit. Pretty big drop in EV, but I'm still okay with that. I'm always going to lean on the side of betting this. Totally fine with that. And so this would be a BetMGM play. I'm going to try to hit this up on BetMGM. I don't know how much they're going to allow me to wager. And depending on how good or bad it is, maybe I ladder this. We'll see. And I still bet a lot of BetMGM stuff, guys, when it comes to mainline markets, because they still let me bet roughly $100, which is very good. And I still live bet with them all the time. So the under 46 and under 47.5 on this Oregon game. Again, guys, I just don't recommend these plays. I bet these in front of you to let you know that, like, yo, I kind of believe in this. Really believe in it. Minus 105, they're telling me to bet $80. I'm just going to try to bet as much as I can. They won't take a $500 wager. $6.14. All right. I don't think I don't have that big of an ego. I don't think I'll move the line, but I'll take my $6.14. And then I'll go and bet the under 46.5. All right. What is it? 557. Bingo. All right, we're in for a grand total of like $12. There it is. 557. Love that. Love that. We just have to cook up another MGM. That's all. 614 over here. There we go. Nico, is it still worth live arbitraging? It's a great question. And I actually just made a video talking about that exact topic. Made it on Friday. And let me go ahead and share it with you. Peanuts, no doubt about that. For Nico, there's the video. I would take a look at that. It kind of really goes in depth about everything and how I currently feel about arbitrage betting. Man, I thought I was going to get a little bit more on there because it was the college football playoff, but just how it goes. What are you going to do? All right, so, Western Michigan, talked about these unders. Toledo +7, guys. That's a nice side to be on. This looks very good. Toledo and Louisville. This is for the 23rd. Again, guys, don't wait until game day to bet the college football games, the bowl games. Bet them the earlier the better, typically. Always a good thing to do. Okay. Let's take a look at some college hoops. What do we got today for college hoops? Man, haven't seen this logo in a minute. Jazz Sports. Georgia State, Georgia Southern. Okay. That's fine. It's being recommended to bet the over. Smaller schools, but that's fine. Again, if you see plays like this, guys, like on North Florida or Jackson State, just go bet those. They're very low liquidity. Kind of like that 4CX play I just took away from Chi-Town. Just don't even think about it. Go bet it. It's a good play. It's going to work out for you more times than not. Don't need a deep dive into it. SIU, Edwards, and anytime I see BetDSI's logo, I really get interested. Typically, they have the same as Circa in terms of limits. You can see Circa's at 550. So let's kind of break this down really quick in terms of, like, if you guys are trying to figure out, like, who's a sharp sports book for college basketball for totals, right? Well, in this particular example, we can see that Circa's offering limits of 550 on this total. Pinnacle's at 1,100. And if I look at the main line here for Bookmaker, they're at 540. Now, they're not at the same number here. They see this at about 134.5. So if I go to the under 136, bookmakers at about $645. So lean a little bit more Pinnacle here. You'll see this go back and forth sometimes. All right. I don't necessarily totally mean to disregard Pinnacle when you're looking at college sports plays, but more times than not, bookmaker takes more money than Pinnacle. And in some cases, like a lot more money. So here I would deem Pinnacle as, they're taking the most on this total. I would lean on their odds the most. They're not as bullish as bookmaker is, but they still have this at like minus 127. Okay. All these Profit X plays, guys, you could just bet them. $19, $20, $19. Just go bet those. Illinois State on the money line. Now, here's a different one. Circa's taking 1,000 on one side, 1,300 on the other, 1,500 on both sides for Pinnacle. And this is a nice little money line play, which, we'll have to take a look to see what BetOnline's taking. So, what are we looking at? Southern Illinois, Illinois State. Two smaller schools again, guys. Money line here on Illinois State is they're taking $500. So, bookmakers not taking much at all. If I go log into BetOnline and I go see like what they're doing, and typically, guys, if you want to have more confidence on your college hoops plays, stick to the bigger schools. The bigger schools are always going to provide you a little bit more confidence in the plays. All right, Southern Illinois. Illinois State. Illinois State, the max wager is $1,000 over at BetOnline. So the BetOnline has the same liquidity as Circa, basically, and a little bit less than Pinnacle. So I probably would just maybe stay away from this. So yeah, these are all smaller schools. Georgia State, the UT Martin, Tennessee State. Nothing's really big here. So I'm not truly in love with any of these plays. There are some good numbers, guys. Don't get me wrong. But, all of these plays, something else to kind of consider is maybe we only bet like half or 3/4 of a unit because there's not a lot of interest in Georgia State and Georgia Southern basketball. So just be careful there when you're betting smaller conferences. Let's go back and just take a look once more at some DFS to kind of wrap up the stream. I'm back on tonight, guys, at 6 o'clock Eastern, looking at a ton of player prop bets, a lot of Thursday night football, a lot of NBA, NHL anytime goal scores. I don't bet NHL anytime goal scores this early in the morning. I like to wait. And so there we go. I had two bonus bets yesterday on DraftKings. And so I put them, even though I couldn't get the best odds on DraftKings on the players, I put one on Gabriel Velarde. That didn't cash. And then I put one on Pavel Dorofeev, and that cashed, which was really, really nice at plus 200 odds. So I had a really solid day yesterday, bringing in almost $1,000 in profit, which was on a lighter slate. Last 2 days, there haven't been much going on in the NBA, and it's been really, really nice in terms of hitting on some bets. PrizePicks. This SAR play, I can get down with that. De'Aaron Fox, Desmond Bane, these are okay. They're not great. They're just fine. The combo play here, don't love the combo play. Yeah, no doubt about that, Irish, no doubt. I mean, it was a lower edge play, but it definitely cashed. Glad it went well. Glad it went really well. So that's dropping today, guys. If you want to know the exact process, setup, what I look for, how I bet it, what I bet for NHL goals, that video is dropping today on OddsJam. I'm going to be sending a tweet out a little bit later to kind of promote it. But check that out. Valanciunas. So yeah, there's not a lot there. There's just not much on PrizePicks. And I'm really hoping to see more tonight. Really hoping to see a lot more. All right, Bobby Portis. I like that. Don't really care for Cade Cunningham's play. Wiggins, don't really care. Same with Nemhard. Now, the Wiggins PRA, not really. No. This plus 111 even though it's a lower number, it's still not very good. Yeah, not much. Not much at all. All right, guys. That's where I'm going to wrap it up right now. Got to run over and get some last-minute Christmas stuff before I head out. Yeah, Jackson Blake, we found that on the Sharp Money tool. Like I said, that cashed along with Seth Jarvis. Both of those were Sharp Money plays. So it was nice to see both of those. Appreciate the shout-out, Irish, as always. As always, man. All right, guys. That's pretty much it. Have an awesome night. Awesome night. Awesome morning. Awesome afternoon. I'll catch you guys later this evening. Questions, DM me, email me. Otherwise, guys, have an awesome day. Talk to you soon. Take care.